All right, everyone. Welcome to Hoops Hobby Hangout. Hope you guys all had a good week. We are back for round two of show and tell. So this week, I think Ryan and Steve are going to be sharing a card with us, similar to how Adam and I did last week, and kind of just talking about it, and hopefully it can spur some discussion. And I don't know about you guys, but I personally felt like it was really cool to spend an hour talking about just like two or three sets. It felt like very card nerdy of us, which was really cool. But we also, of course, encourage anyone, if anyone's watching or is around, to join in, and feel free to come on and share their cards. So if you have a card you want to share, that would be you're more than welcome to join on, and we'd love to talk about that and discuss it the way we did with Braxton's 0910 Hall of Fame Oscar last week. The link is in the chat, and the QR code, if you prefer to scan a QR code, is up in the top right corner right now. So before we get into any of that, do you guys want to share kind of anything that happened you picked up this week or whatever?
Yeah, I got a cool pickup. I was telling you guys before. Steve knows about it, but it's not a card. It's a jersey. So as last week when I was showing the Gary Harris, this is actually a game worn jersey.
Nice.
So I picked it up from My Grays recently. Actually, a buddy of mine texted me. He's like, "Hey man, this thing went on sale. It's a pretty good deal. It's rookie season too." So this is the
very cool
home variation. So this is the white jersey with the, blue, gold, black patches on it, for the Nuggets logo, and then the player patch and all that. So my goal is to at some point get that signed. My buddy was actually a ball boy for the Nuggets for a long time. So he thinks the next time Gary comes to town, I think he's on the Bucks now, maybe, I want to say. Did he get traded to the Bucks? He's going to try to pull some strings and get in before the game, get that signed. So that's my goal, my big pickup this week.
God, have you tried it on yet, Ryan?
Oh, it's huge, man. It kind of fits like my shoulders and stuff like that, but it's just super long. I think it's only an XL, but it's the +2 length one.
Yeah. So it's like,
yeah, it's like if you're wearing shorts, it's probably, looks like you're wearing short shorts if you put that thing on.
I got a cool story that relates to that. I don't really have any pickups, so I'll just end with this. I have a game worn Paul Pierce shooting shirt from his time with the Brooklyn Nets. It's a Chinese New Year when they used to do that, that seasonal piece, and it's got like the number 34 written on the tag. And I took it to a signing that Pierce was doing in Boston with a couple of friends. It might have been the show you came to, Adam. I forget if it was that one or a different one. And I'm waiting in line and with my buddy, and I, go over. It's right after the pandemic, so it's like social distancing and stuff, so you can't get too close to Pierce. But he takes the jersey, he looks down at it, and he lets out a few explicit words, and then goes, "This is mine." and I have it on video. And I thought that was like the coolest thing, because he's like, "Where the hell did you get this?" And same auction house had sold it off, and then the guy that had a shop had bought it. And put it up on eBay, and I won it for like $75. I was the only bidder on it, but it was like a super fun moment. I got signed. It's hanging up my my bedroom upstairs. So it's definitely something different when you get like a game used piece and they can get it signed. It kind of it's a whole nother level.
That's kind of my goal with it, I think, is maybe try to get it signed, maybe frame, something like that. So it was I don't remember how many games then. It was some game in December, but it was a home game. I think he scored like 6 points or something, 2 rebounds. But rookie year stuff, man, that was cool. That was what kind of prompted me to just grab it. So, but yeah,
that's pretty cool. So, do you guys monitor those auction houses all the time, or how are you keeping up with that?
I don't, but my buddy Rob is definitely on there a bunch. He's more of like, he collects cards, but he's into memorabilia too. So he'll pick up like some shoes or something, and he's got a ton of stuff from when he was a ball boy too. So he's got some really cool pieces from like the Nuggets and also teams that came in, like signed shoes and jerseys and all kinds of cool stuff. So I would have never seen it because I honestly don't go to My Grays that much. I've been there a couple times, but I'm usually not searching for that stuff. It's actually the only like game used jersey or larger piece that I have. So pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I only asked because I'm still reeling over missing like the Dirk I needed for my set on Card Hobby because I just don't keep up with Card Hobby auctions. Randomly was on it for some reason. I was like, oh, let me check it out, and I saw a bunch of cards from the preferred stat line set that were for auction, and then I looked at ended listings, and literally that morning was a Dirk. So I was just like, okay, that was frustrating.
It's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
The chance that you even saw that auction, Joey, is so rare because Card Hobby is infamous for like the ultra modern stuff. So I bet right now, if I were to go on there, there's a ton of silhouette, there's going to be a ton of flawless, a ton of noir, one-on-one. Once a set is a year, 2 years, 3 years out, it very rarely goes up on that site. Like, so for a wave of the set that you're chasing to hit there is very rare. And the fact that you randomly checked it, I mean, that's the stars aligning in the worst way possible. Like I felt so bad when I saw your post.
Yeah, I'm hoping it shows up somewhere.
I'm sure it got shielded and will be relisted on eBay 17 more times.
Great. Can't wait.
I did have one pickup to share. It's nothing crazy. It's just one of the cards I wanted from, probably the card I wanted from Silhouette came in today. Just opened the mail a few minutes ago. But the Daniel Tice.
Oh, nice.
Line patch out of 10.
Great foil on that.
Yeah. I've been waiting for one of these to come down a little bit. But yeah, I love the foil on it. As Steve knows, he was one of my favorite Celtics. I always love the bigger interior players. But yeah, I really like that one. And he doesn't really have anything to speak of in terms of game use patch stuff that I can think of. He has some stuff that depicts him in a Celtics uniform, but nothing that is the Celtics patch with it that I can think of besides these.
Yeah, no, that's actually a jersey most likely left over, Adam. He made it into, I think it was certified after he'd been traded to the Bulls or bought out, but I forget if he was waived or traded. So he's got a couple of Bulls cards with actually nice jumbo Celtics patches in it. So I'm assuming, I think this is definitely his first time Celtics and Celtics. So it's a fun, like we talked about, that's a fun way to use Silhouette.
Yeah, and Sean, I see in the comments there, it's the new Silhouette set that just came out like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, that we talked about a couple episodes back.
Yeah, the 24-25 Panini Silhouette release. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are cool. And now with Flawless out and like Eminence up next, keep an eye out on those. They might drop a little bit, and if people are going after stuff, might be able to pick it up. There was like a period where it got hot, and you guys probably saw that, and stuff was just getting a little bit too crazy. So I started to just sway away from it a little bit, and might come back to it, here in another week or two.
Yeah, I'm disappointed because I actually got my first Silhouette card. It's coming in tomorrow, so I'm one day late on being able to show it. But I'm sure next
time.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks Caleb and Sean for hanging out. If either of you want to jump on, make sure to scan the QR code or join the link. And I think it may be a good time now to jump into our show and tell. So I don't know if Steve or Ryan, either of you want to share first, but take the stage.
I'm going to defer to you, Ryan. No, I'll let you go first. I know you're dressed up in your uniform. You're ready to go. I'm dying to know what the jersey is. We were talking, pre-show, so I'll let you take the lead.
Well, Adam already guessed it, but you weren't there yet backstage, Joey. So you get to guess the era, at least, of the jersey here.
Oh, the era of the jersey.
This gives you a hint. So that's the championship kind of logo or whatever. And then the jersey is like kind of the dark blue with the red and gold piping. It's a Nuggets jersey.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
I'm going to go not late 90s.
Yeah. Well, mid 90s. Yeah.
Mid-90s, okay.
And this thing's a horrible knockoff. The Nuggets logo should be up here. Okay. It's down here.
Oh, yeah,
here's the player.
Yeah.
So number 24.
Number 24. My gosh.
Adam guessed it.
Huh? Adam guessed it. Yeah. I don't have that.
There we go.
Oh yeah. It's in the.
Yeah. Check the chat.
So Crazy One has guessed it at McDice.
McDice. Good one.
Because he's a McDice collector. So I figured he would know right away. Okay.
Yeah. The red gives it away for sure. the era.
So that's my era card that I picked. And I'll just show this card off first. Probably my favorite Jordan card, to be honest. And this is 95-96 Upper Deck SB. So that's the set that I picked. I just think these will show a better photo for the edited version, but I just like the player shot. And if you can see here, there's like a little player portrait in the corner, gold foil on it. The backs are pretty nice too. They also have a player photo. I wish they kind of didn't do the foil on the back though. That's the only distracting part for me, and maybe left it more plain. But yeah, that's my set. And I don't know if you guys were collecting back then. Do you remember these cards at all?
I honestly, that was right at the end. So I probably transitioned out of like really like slowing down my collecting and going more into like the music scene and like CD collecting and record collecting and stuff. Probably around 97. I'm thinking is like, I'm trying to think of my age. So I was definitely still collecting then, Ryan, but I don't actually remember that set at all. I was more of a collector's, in the realm of collector's choice and stuff like that. I don't recognize that image as, it's a borderless card for people at home. It's got some foil. It's a great action shot, kind of almost like Upper Deck's version of like a stadium club. Like it's, it's got minimal detail and it really highlights the player. And that's so cool.
So is that the base?
This is the base. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
So I put a set together, which is going to be hard to show because it's in a binder. This is all the base cards though in the set. I used to do a lot of set collecting, and this is actually kind of one that I started like back in the day when I was collecting. I love these. I remember buying packs of them, and then just the base cards coming out just looked really cool, right? So in addition to just the cool base design, they had, the reason I'm wearing my McDice jersey is because they had him as a rookie in it. Let me get his card out real quick. And these are cool cards too. And literally you could probably get this full set for $30 or something. I don't know if the Jordan goes for a lot, but if you just wanted the base set, you could probably get it for pretty cheap. So that's the rookie design that year.
Okay.
And we'll get a better photo
like
of
the
it.
Striping behind it.
Yeah,
that's
the
awesome.
stripes. So when you kind of look at them straight on, you may not recognize that striping, but it's kind of integrated into the design. I wish I had a better way to show these on camera. I even have a light behind me tonight to try and like fix that. But yeah, it's just
shows pretty well. Yeah, that's interesting. So do you like that the rookies have a different design than the base, like the standard base?
Yeah, definitely. And so it's even a slightly different design for the back, along the same lines with the player portrait, but just positioned a little bit differently. But yeah, really cool base set, and it's cheap, so it's something cool to maybe go after for anybody interested and pick up stuff for cheap. Literally, like you could probably put that set together or buy a full set for next to nothing.
I'm feeling a little FOMO with it. You talking about Sean in the chat saying he loved it. Zach Crazy One was ripping boxes left and right, that stuff. I honestly, I remember Finest from that year, Flare Ultra. I did a lot of. I don't remember the set at all.
Sean's wondering, do you know the Garnett from that set?
I can't even honestly. I'm sure if I saw it, I would have recognized passing it in seeing it in passing. But
you might.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely. Yeah, that's.
Sorry, there's so much glare on these. We'll get the photos up later, but yeah, they say Premiere on the side.
Yeah,
I think. Is that what it says? Yeah, Premiere.
What year did you say
Prospects? This is 95, 96.
95, 96.
Yeah.
Bit too old for me to be opening them.
Yeah. my question for you, Ryan, about the set, and it goes to what Joey said as far as the rookies having a different design. So when it's in a binder, are the rookies in the checklist? Like, is it one of the traditional 90s checklists where the checklist goes by team, or is it sort of the vets and then the rookies are at the end of the set?
So rookies at the end of the set for sure.
See,
I'm not
okay,
sure if
so
they do it
then
by
I would
team,
like
though.
Joey that they have different designs, because then it differentiates them as opposed to them just being like randomly inserted, you know, in the middle, like card number 10, then card number.
Actually, I think it
38.
is. I think it does go by team. So you've got.
Yeah.
You probably can't really see this, but Hawks on the top.
So yeah, so 90s. That's how all the checklists were.
Yeah, they're totally by team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just a continuation of the numbering when it gets to the rookies.
Yep. Interesting.
But
yeah,
there's some inserts too. So I don't know if you guys had any more comments about the base set, but that's what I collected. But we can go into a couple of the inserts too if you want.
No, I was just going to mention that I agree. I think it's a really cool looking base set. I've never seen it before, like Steve was saying, but I mean, I generally just love any base set or any design with multiple pictures of the player. So obviously there's the flare stuff and from the late 90s, but I think that's really cool because you have the player photo, an action image and color, and then the game background and kind of that black and white foil, right, without the color, with that headshot on the side. That was very, very cool.
Yeah, no. Zach Crazy One was saying there's SP Championship, which there was. That's a whole different set. I should have brought one of those out too, but yeah, that's another cool set as well.
Yeah, some comments. Sean said that Garnett is the only BGS card he owns, and the die cut All Stars. I can't.
All right, die cut All Stars I do have, so that was kind of what I was one of the ones I was gonna show next. So there's your die cut All Stars.
Oh, I definitely recognize that.
Yeah, those are a well-known set.
Yeah, so those are pretty cool. I think they also had. Yeah, here's like the Sean Elliott. I dug out as many as I could find. I've got the base set together in a binder, and then the inserts were in some other binder, and I know I've got boxes of other stuff too. But yeah, you know, the die cut.
That's a nice back
design. Yeah, the backs are neat as well. So for those of you listening on audio, there's kind of like a player portrait with a 96 NBA All-Star wording around the portrait. So. And then a little bit of text, something we don't get a lot nowadays. You know, I'm hoping Topps will do something with their cards, because you see in some of the Topps releases where it's just like the player's name and that's it. There's no picture. There's no little blurb of text. So
yeah, it's
definitely
so
tried hard back then.
How different it is, the Topps basketball stuff right now unlicensed compared to the baseball, because I think the baseball stuff, they still have lots of stats on the back, and they do like the Bowman's briefing for Bowman, you know, they have all that info.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to another podcast today, and I'll give a shit, Baker and Brewer podcast. They're a buddy of mine, and they do a baseball one, and they were one of the hosts was going through some of the Topps cards and talking about how on the back it even had like a fun narrative about he had a prospect card, and the guy's father was like Shohei Ohtani's high school coach or something. And it like, just like that's, I used to read all the backs of cards. I'm sure any of us, at least from the 90s, like that was part of it. That's how you learned about players. That was, you know, I mean, that was at the early part of Sports Center even. So I do have an affinity for the backs of cards and miss, like, you know, it just had one of my favorite cards is a Pierce Numbers Immaculate card. On the back of it, it actually gives a narrative of how Pierce came up with the number 34. And it's a part of his like lineage as a player that I never knew about. So like, I do miss that part of cards. So I hope that they put a little time and effort into it. Because right now, even Panini's just putting like a card number and a name on the back of it. And you know, more information's on a Post-it in most people's desks than are on the back of these cards.
I mean, even stats would be good too, right? Even if we just got some stats listed and it filled up maybe half of the card and just another photo. Something, man, you know, yeah. Like not just the player's name, and like it just, yeah, it's kind of bland.
And I don't know why that stuff is always reserved for the low end, right? I mean, I feel like, you know, all the high end stuff, it's just the name on the back, but the low end stuff, I think tends to, the hoops and the Donruss tend to have more info on the back and stats. I don't know why that's viewed as a low end thing, and that high end cards are not worthy of anything on the back, as if it would detract from the front or something. I don't know.
The only thing I'd say on that was just the wording necessary for like authentication of patches or autographs and stuff does take up a portion of that rear section on like nicer cards. A lot of those have those types of things. But I was going to throw out a lot of times those heritage or archives type cards where they use the older designs and do some of the playful like comic type stuff on the back of the cards in baseball. That would be kind of cool to see brought back over into basketball as well.
Yeah, great point, Adam.
Yeah, and usually with the like flawless type stuff, don't they have player name, maybe team logo, authentication for the patch saying it's game worn or whatever it might be, which is okay. I mean, they're more minimal in design to begin with, so maybe I'll give it a pass. But yeah, your base sets and stuff, that's where you need the stats and a little write-up, I feel. All right, I got one more insert set, or I guess it is an insert set. And these are the Holo View. So they are hologram cards. So that's the McDice. Let's see if we can make it. You can see his face move. I don't know if you guys can see that effect.
Yeah, well, we can see it. That's trippy.
So yeah, good old 90s with the holograms, right? And so there was a variation of these Holo Views called the Holo View Special FX. It's basically the same card, but it's die cut. So, if you had a player that you collect from that time period, I obviously collect McDice, but I'm not sure if Garnett has, he probably does have one of these. But yeah, just a cool set as well. And there's one other that I'll mention that I don't have in front of me. I looked forever. There's a commemorative card of Olajuwon, and it's actually 2 cards in one. And so it's a die cut, but the card that they pasted on is like die cut on the back only, and then it's wrapped around, and then it's die cut on the front, but it's like pasted together. So for anybody, I'll throw up an image and I'll try to find mine, but it was like 1 in 300 packs, I think. Really cool. It commemorated his 20,000 points and 10,000 rebounds when he hit that milestone. And you'd think for being that hard to pull, they would cost a lot, but you can literally get them for like $2 or $3. So for those of you listening, you want to pick up a cool card for a couple bucks, check out that Olajuwon commemorative card.
Your influencer status, Ryan, is going to have that up to $4.50 by the end of the week.
I know, exactly. Everybody on ComC is going to raise it by 50 cents. But yeah, that's my set.
Those Holo View ones, I've definitely seen them. I've never seen them on video or moving like that before, which is cool. Am I remembering correctly that there were like buybacks of that and autographed buybacks in a later product, or am I thinking of something else?
There might have been, because Upper Deck did do a lot of the buybacks of that time period. I bet you there's a Jordan or something that's
what I'm picturing.
40K now or whatever.
Yeah, I'm picturing a Jordan, but I might be just fantasizing or something.
They also had those, like, I'm not going to be able to remember this set, but they were horizontal, and it would be like a player in the front and like 2 or 3 players to the side with the same kind of hologram. I know there's a Jordan of that maybe is the one you're thinking. SPX. Yep.
That was like a whole set of holograms, and they were all kind of die cut portrait style.
Yeah. I want to say it has like a team color kind of ribbon around the design of it.
Yeah, that sounds more familiar to me. That might be what I am thinking of.
I want to say it's got like 3 additional faces plus the player.
Yeah, they did it a number of years. I believe, I think McDice rookie year, he did have one of those. So I probably should have pulled that one out. But yeah, that's SPX. So those are really neat. They had just the base version's cool, but they have like gold parallels out of it too, which are kind of fun to chase. The only thing you're going to pay up for is probably the Jordan. So if you collect anything else besides Jordan or any other player, you can get them for cheap. But they are cool cards.
Kyle on the Wax Museum podcast, I'm not going to remember what episode, I'm not going to remember all the details, but he had a really interesting story about the hologram cards with Upper Deck and the refractors with tops. And something along the lines of the company that came up with the printing technology for the refractors went to Upper Deck first, and they were like, nah, we're all set. We're going all in on holograms. And they went to tops secondarily. And obviously, if you look at the sets throughout the 90s, I mean, even up through 98, 99, Upper Deck was really hammering home that even if it was just like a background effect, the hologram stuff But obviously we know what refractors and now prisms and hollows have done, for the hobby long term. So it's interesting to think about how some of those, decisions back then just have had ripple effects throughout the hobby.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I do remember that episode. Yeah,
I remember that. Can you imagine where Topps would be if there was no refractor? I mean, I feel like if UD had all their signers and the Jordan exclusive and LeBron and the refractor technology, talk about a monopoly, right? It's just that would they would have taken over.
Sounds like a world where we don't have Panini. I kind of
like I know. It's like if anybody's watching the John Cena show Peacemaker, if we could just walk through a door to another universe that's the same but better, that would be that universe.
I'm up to episode 6 of that first season because you guys convinced me to watch it.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Group chats. Yeah, it is actually. The wife's into it and everything, so it's hard to find stuff that we both like. So it's a good show.
Yeah.
Now, because obviously Panini picked up the refractor technology in Prism and stuff. Does Upper Deck still not do any sort of refractor stuff? I guess they're just in hockey now, but
yeah, not that I can think of. Like even when I mean they've had stuff that's like even with Marvel before they lost that license, they had a brand called Marvel Platinum, which was basically Topps Chrome, that had some shiny cards, and there was like some Wave Prism looking cards in there, but it's definitely not. In hockey, their main thing is affordability, and then they'll do like foil, and they do a lot of patches because a hockey sweater just makes. I mean, you can't beat that for a patch, and they get like all the high-end signers. So they really focus on more of like affordable low-end stuff that looks nice. They do a lot of acetate cards and a lot of acetate inserts because of like the ice. They can kind of play off that, and then higher-end sets that are autograph and memorabilia specific, or focused, I should say. Oh, what's up, Kevin?
Appreciate you joining us. Oh, Peachy Platinum has Chrome type stuff. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy to think that this many years, 30 years after refractors were introduced, that they're not doing anything with the technology still. All
right. Do I get called up to the front of the room now for my show and tell?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's your turn.
I'm all out of cards, man.
Cool. So I have one set to show, and the card that I brought for the show and tell is the primary card. But then I have a few stories that I think tie into a couple different discussion things we've had. But the card that I brought, I'm going to try and hold it because I took the lid off, is from 2012, 2013. It's Immaculate, which I thought was timely with Immaculate coming out. Memorabilia card, which is one of the favorite things that I like to collect. So this is you can't see the sign up. This is a Pete Maravich Immaculate Collection numbers patch. So what this, I'll try and hold it up just for a visual, and I'll get pictures up. But what this set was all the veterans and rookies. There's veterans and rookies in it, but all the veterans had game used patches, and the card is serial numbered up to their jersey number. And as far as I can tell, every relic is from the number piece on the jersey. I don't think I've seen like a lot of nameplate patches or team patches. So acetate finish to it, hollow foil. This was an extremely high-end chased set back in the day there, because there's cards like, I want to say, the Damian Lillards of the world, the Russell Westbrooks had their base cards were 101. Derrick Rose would have been a 101 because it's just out of the jersey number, right? So Chris Paul would have been out of 3. And there was a lot of people trying to put this set together, which is next to impossible because of the short print nature of it. I mean, you got plenty of players out of 5, out of 8, out of 10, et cetera, et cetera. But absolutely one of my favorite sets. It's so shiny, it pops. It's got a good sized patch window. One of the things that I love about this year Immaculate is the subtle details. So you can see, I don't know, I have such horrible lighting, and it's pretty bright in this room, but my camera is old. But behind him, accented by the hollow foil, is a team color. So this part that I'm pointing to right here behind Maravich is green on the Celtics card. On a Bulls card, it would be red. On a Wizards card, it would be blue. So it really kind of plays off the team color a lot and gives just a nice little distinction, a little detail to the look of the cards. I also find this card interesting because Panini actually did an entire video of them processing this jersey. So they put it up on YouTube. So I mean, talk about transparency in the hobby and getting some behind the scenes stuff. They had an entire, probably 12, 15-minute video. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it was only 5. I don't know. I didn't watch it before this. About them, how they acquired it, how they processed it, cut it up, serial numbered it, and pasted it into cards. And you can actually see them laying out sheets of, I believe, gold standard patch cards. So it's, it's got sort of a 2-point meaning to me. It's a interesting Celtics game used, patch. He was only on the team for 1 year. I think it was the 79-80 season or 80-81 season, right before they won. Had a bailout because his knees were, there's a story that Bird was begging him to come back and help them chase a championship, and he just mentally couldn't do it because his knees were, so painful at the time. But then you get the part about the collectability with the video and stuff like that. So that was that's a card that I wanted to bring my show and tell. Like I said, I have a few more cards to show from this set and talk about Immaculate a little bit, but let me pause there and see if anybody wants to share anything about it or ask any questions before I just ramble on at you guys.
Well, I just wanted to say I love the choice. I love those two and have the Mirovic. But you were mentioning the foil or the team color changing. I just grabbed one while you were discussing it to show the color change.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
Adam right now is showing a Wilt patch, which is, one of the nice chunky patch, 3 colors, 3 layers of stitching, and then behind Wilt is a nice purple accent of the Lakers team, and there's like details to it where it looks like almost like a basketball. It's got texture to it as well. And
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the texture on it, it looks like a basketball texture in that kind of purple background there. That's pretty neat.
And in the upper corner, there's like a silhouette of the player's number there's no ink on it. It's just outlined in hollow foil. So there's really so many nice touches that just give this a premium feel. And as we were talking about the backs of cards, you're not going to be able to see it, but I'll show you a 2012-13 card. So this is a 2012-13 set. Old school style. It has the season averages from the 12-13 season, the player's career averages, height, weight, year drafted, college they went to, and then a little narrative about the player and where they stand in, the team or the league or, something to highlight them. So even back then on a high-end set, we got some nice stuff on the back of cards.
Yeah. Where is it anymore? We need it back. No, those are great, man. Those are really cool.
I love any sort of old school or vintage patch or jersey, even the ones that are trim, even the ones that are, 1 color or barely 2 color. There's just something about them. I don't know if it's their visual aesthetics. I don't know if it's just kind of the lore of the fact that, by the time they made that card, that jersey was already 30 years old, right? So, right. And the fact that they got their hands on it, and like you said, it had a historic significance for a great player, an all-time great with his one significant season with the team. Yeah, it's just I love those vet legend game used stuff. It's awesome.
I agree. Sometimes I'll pick up a relic just because it's a player from the 70s or 60s. There's just something special about that. And right, they had to put effort into getting it, and they usually put them in very unique looking cards. So I agree with you, Joe. There's just something different about it.
And do you guys think that going forward, Topps is even going to be able to obtain any of that stuff? Because you think of all the stuff that's been bought up, going for record sales, and Panini was doing that before and getting that jerseys before that stuff kind of blew up. Is there any even available for them to use? That's what I was
They're
thinking.
definitely available, but I think it's unnecessary to accomplish the goal of selling out their product, and there would be no reason for them to go the extra mile, in my opinion. It's sad because it's like what we're talking about is 90% of what I collect. I just don't foresee that option being there with Topps, unfortunately.
Because if you can print an AI generated downtown card with, just some random art in it, and you can sell the set because of that, why would you acquire a jersey piece? Why would you go after a player to sign it? So, not
only is the cost of that way less, the value is probably way more because the market's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Gary in the chat just says, they can, similar to what Adam said, will they want to? And I think the want to or they need to is, I agree with Adam. Like, if they were to put a Jerry West patch card in, they're not going to get enough jerseys to create like a vintage jersey set, right? But so let's say they got a Jerry West jersey. That would be historic. People would chase it. But that blip in increase in demand probably doesn't resonate throughout, the whole product line. So it's probably not worth them paying $40,000 for a vintage jersey to cut it up and put it into cards when they can use non-associated stuff, or just get, have team managers get them stuff from ultra modern players and say they have game use stuff, and backyard breaks will be taking shirts off and run it around if they get a Gary Harris game use patch or a Jerry West game use patch, right? And so I'm saying that in a fresh manner, but like when you talk about the supply and demand and how we're marketing the hobby right now, I don't think they need to, unfortunately, go out and put that extra effort in. And frankly, Panini hasn't either for the last 5 years. So I think we've kind of seen the trend of that go away a little bit.
And
Just
maybe, I was thinking maybe they have some stuff left over from when they acquired Topps. Could be a possibility.
That's
Stuff
actually what I was
sitting
going to touch on there. Was I've been scouring the checklist of Flawless and Immaculate for the new releases, and there is like nothing. There's one card out of both sets that came out that really intrigues me. There's a Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, John Havlicek triple patch in Flawless that I would like to find a copy of. Other than that, there's almost nothing that's really even remotely special. And obviously there's more to potentially come with Imminence, but Imminence is not a product that's usually super vast in terms of the player selection. So I'd be surprised if they really started digging deep and putting in some interesting combinations.
Yeah. No, one can hope that they have some stuff left over and they can still use it.
And speaking of the good and bad, so I brought out a couple different cards from the same Immaculate number set. So all 12, 13. But I was thinking of this specific card when we were talking about silhouette and release dates. So I looked it up. Flawless and Immaculate in 2012, 2013, Flawless, 2012, 2013, Immaculate came out in October of 2013. Okay, so yes, if you guys were on the message boards, there was uproars about how late this stuff was coming out, right? So 23-24 Flawless came out in April or May of 2025. So literally like at the following season had already wrapped up. But one of my least favorite cards in my set, and card that I don't chase much of, is Paul Pierce's final year on the Celtics is 2012-2013. This is a 2012-2013 card. It's a Nets card because whatever the license or agreement was that the NBA or the NBA PA had with Panini, because they missed like a deadline in August or September, they had to recognize the following year for all the players. So there are players that, like infamously, there's a 12-13, a couple of different Dwight Howard cards where there's 3 different teams recognized on it. There's like a Magic patch with it's a Lakers card. He's pictured as a Rockets or something like that. So I think it's very interesting to think about. They were just a month or two late, and they were in the preseason, and they had to recognize the following year. But now we have companies putting stuff out a full season and a half later and getting credit for it. And it's still rookies. But I can tell you that the fact that this is a Nets card and has the black background and a little Nets border on it, it's the only Pierce Immaculate card I have from that year because it bugs the hell out of me. And he had some great patches. He had Shamrocks, he had Jumbo Team logos. But it's just so interesting to think about how things have changed and the control that the league had and the investment the league had in the hobby, and they had oversight on it. And now it seems like it's the wild, wild west. And if you're willing to give us enough money and have a monopoly, you can kind of do whatever you want. So
back to that card though, Steve, just for a second, it's got him in a Celtics jersey though. It's just
it does, yeah. Because he had that. It came out before he'd ever even played for the Nets. Like he probably hadn't been in a preseason game, right? So it's a 12-13 card. And I bought this for $5. I avoided buying this forever, and then I love the set, so I'm like, I should get one. After bringing it down, it's a single color, middle of a number patch. After bringing it down for this, I don't think it's going back in my collection. This will probably be a ComC because I hate this card. And then I brought, just to show off, I did bring a couple of the rookies. So the rookies were player worn from the rookie photo shoot. Again, all number pieces. They did RPAs. So this is a Jay Crowder. I don't hoard many Jay Crowder cards, but I've got 2 copies of the Odd of 9. This was the first Jay Crowder card I ever bought. I forget which one it was, whether it be I get number 2 and number 8 out of 9. Back when this product was out, and a couple of years after, the Celtics were trading for players all over the place. Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, and this set was the set that I'd go on eBay when we got a new player. I had a Tyler Zeller from this set for a while. Like I'd go on, and this was like the one set that I would try to see if I could get some cards of. And so all the rookies are patch autos. I've never seen it live, but there is the Jay Crowder 101 Logo Man patch auto from this set. Did get pulled. It used to be on Worth Point. But last week we were talking about replay, Ryan, and I have a single replay card in my collection. So replay came out in, I think it was technically a 2015, 2016 set. It was a disaster. It was like the definition of dumping off Chris Joseph cards, and I mean, you named the worst draft pick of your favorite team from like 2009 to 2014, and all their stickers were dumped in it. But I did pick up, this is a 101 Jay Crowder, and what I like about this is it's a, I don't know if I can show it. No, I'm not, so the serial number is up in the upper corner here. This one was never stamped. So a lot of the cards from this set they just had left over, and they would, like, you get a 101 and then on the back was stamped 46 out of 49. This one was never stamped, so I feel like it was a true replacement card that if any of these got damaged, they would have stamped and sent it out. But it does have the hand numbering on it. So I picked this up as just a remembrance of replay. And Joey, the trivia question that Ryan was going to throw you away when you were sharing some Mosaic cards last year, and technically you were correct last week. Technically you were correct when you said the first year of Mosaic. But Panini came out with Prism Mosaic as a 16-17 standalone release to say sorry for Panini Replay. So any shop that had boxes of Panini Replay, or if you had a receipt showing you had bought a box of Panini Replay, you could bring it into your LTS and they would give you a box of 2016, 2017 Prism Mosaic. There were no base cards in it. They were different photos. I think it was like 3 cards per pack or something. And all of the cards were based like silver mosaics, like think of that design that we know. And then there were camo mosaics, gold mosaics. And then they carried that over into a hobby product in 2017-18 as a Prism Mosaic. And then the following year or two, we got the Mosaic that we know now as a standalone product. But the birth of Mosaic was we effed up. We recognize it. We're so sorry. It's been 6 months to a year since we released Replay. We really did you guys dirty. So here's a free product.
Yeah, and what's interesting about the Replay, like you show that one where it has the 101 right in the corner, hand numbered. They had a lot of those cards that were already numbered, and then they'd put another hand numbered scribble on it. And I don't think even most of the time it would line up with like the serial number, but sometimes it would be like card 15 out of 99, and then the hand numbering would be like 1 out of 5. And all that stuff was from the reward store, wasn't it? Am I getting that right? Like, weren't they dumping the reward store stuff that never sold?
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know if it was ever confirmed that
it.
they were like pulling it off, but yeah, it was that type of stuff. It was those cards that you typically could have got for 800 rewards points, and then they were pulling it off, throwing a hand number on and sticking it in. And then I will give them credit, both in 14-15 Paramount and then 15-16 Replay. They did do some true buyback autos that were, a big chase for a little bit. I remember people going like true Jason Kidd or Steph Curry, like buyback, like they grab like a nice looking base card and hand number it and get a signature on it with a certification. And I appreciate that they were giving that a try, because that was something I appreciate from the upper deck days. But other than that, yeah, it was a disaster. I mean, it was so bad they created a whole new product just to say sorry. I mean,
that's true.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, the stuff that they came out with that was actually like kind of a buyback type deal, because I have a Fareed. It's a 101 from Hoops from 15-16 or 14-15, one or the other. Really cool action shot, and it was like it's sealed in the Replay case and got the 101 little hand numbering on it. I probably picked it up for $15, back in the day. But that kind of stuff, like you said, the Curry was in it. There's the Big Chase, which is the Curry RPA. I don't know if you remember that one. It was one that they probably held back. I think that's what they were trying to sell the product with. But there was cool stuff, but I think probably 90% of it was stuff that didn't move on the Replay store, or not Replay store, sorry, the reward store.
Yeah.
And that they just, it's literally just hand numbered it. Some of the hand numbering was like green.
Yep.
I got a Gary Harris, actually. It was like a select auto. And he didn't have, I guess either nobody bought them or they never released them. I want to say it was his rookie year select golds, and they hand numbered it with green and put it in a Replay. All 10 of them, they were the golds out of 10. I got it, and I took a little dab of alcohol and rubbed it off because it looks so bad to me. So yeah, I was like, oh, there they are, because I think I was looking for him during his rookie season or the season after, and then they finally came out in that product and just looked like crap. So, but yeah, cool stuff, Steve. Yep, I figured we'd get to the replay. And so did you know that, Joey, about where Mosaic came from?
I did know about the Prism Mosaic. I did know that. I didn't actually know that it was a response to the failure that was replay. It's funny. I remember back when the current iteration of Panini Mosaic was released, there was a lot of discussion online about whether or not it was the first year or whatever of Mosaic, because they had Mosaic in Prism ever since 16-17. And I don't know. I personally feel like it's a little different because it's totally changed in terms of, Prism Mosaic was in-game action shots. And I think it was the same design, right, as Prism, with just the Mosaic effect on it.
They're actually different photos, I think, because
different photos. Yeah.
I was chasing like
the borders
Murray
and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Because that was Jamal Murray's rookie season. Then we also had Juancho Hernan-Gomez and what was it? Malik Beasley was also a rookie. So I kind of chased that stuff, and I think they had different photos, but the photos weren't great. So that's what I remember. I was like, oh, these are okay. And I didn't really go after them too hard because I didn't like the photo choices.
Yeah, and I popped out for a second there, but I wanted to go back to Sean's comment that 12-13 release year brought him back into collecting. And I just thought it was interesting because, obviously there's so much love for Panini in that 12-13 release year. I think we've alluded to it, but there's, everyone loved the innovation and the new sets and the designs and stuff, Steve, like you're sharing with that set. So it's just, it's interesting to see that echoed from someone else, and just it seems like that's very universally agreed upon as Panini's best time, is that 2012-13 to 2015, something like that.
Yeah, 16 at the most. And Sean, I got back in around the same time as far as like really being quote unquote full-time in it and whatever. I won't go into the whole story again, but Joey, like even stuff like the low end sets back then were fun to buy packs of a rip. Like Prestige had game used relics in it, which was which was their one of their lowest end sets. I bet a hobby box back then was $60-$80, and Threads, which was a very low end set and was made to for people that want to put together base sets, had these really cool like wood grained autos for all the rookies that were on card autos, right? So you had these like chase cards, and some sets were more focused on inserts, but you could get value. And I know that term is thrown around too much, but you could get value out of stuff. And never mind the fact that when the base set that I wanted to go after, and I should have kept all the stupid silvers, was the Prism set, because it just reminded me of Topps. Those boxes I was ripping for $75, right? So you also didn't have a modern era of like the hype stuff behind the prices, but you got good value. And Prism actually wasn't liked that much because you got 2 sticker autos and maybe you got a couple parallels. It was really about a base set chase. So, but then all of a sudden they came down and said, hey, you guys have been enjoying this, but look what we can really do if we put our effort into it, and came out with Flawless and Immaculate, which was, like we showed with, some acetate and some like very cool, diverse game use sets and on-card autos and autos that recognize stuff. Like Adam and I are big fans of the All-Star lineage from the first year of Immaculate, which, was numbered to how many All-Star games a player played in, and, shows them in an All-Star uniform with, stars in the background. And yeah, they were just doing some really great stuff. And it was like they'd got their, feet wet in 2009, 2010. And then by 2012, they had the team and the resources behind it. And was it perfect? No. But in retrospect, looking back, hindsight 2020, a pretty damn good time, and there's some good stuff out there, stuff for everybody.
Yeah, and I like the Immaculate title winners set. I don't know if we've mentioned that yet, but I personally really like that one where it's numbered out of the number of championships they won, and I think it was the black with the gold ink. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's black card, but it's like a inlay cut auto on black like parchment with gold ink. Yeah,
those two, I forgot about those. Those look great. So that layered one, right, Adam? And they had some for like championships and some like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, Yeah, and then they did a few of them in the replay product you're talking about. I feel like more often than not, when you find them, it's hand-numbered copies, not the actual pack-pulled ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I liked, I think, about that set, was that it was different. I feel, I guess now we're 12 or 13 years into Immaculate and Flawless, and they're all just kind of following the same theme. So it's cool when they come up with something that's, black as the theme. It's all black and it's something different. So that really stuck out, I think. But yeah, a couple of people like Gary also said 2012 brought him back into basketball. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I didn't rip packs. I think after 2009, I stopped ripping packs. So it's interesting, Steve, that you're saying that it was at least fun, like you said. I feel like it would still be. Do you feel like ripping packs would be fun now if boxes were $100 or less? Do you think it's an issue of the quality, or is it an issue of the cost? I mean, it could be both.
Definitely
Well,
both.
you could still. I think you could still find those 2012 on like or not ComC, but like blowout end of the year clearance for like a while. I remember getting a 13-14 Prism box for like $75, like 2015, 2016, something like that. So there's a number of years where they were not, hugely popular like they are nowadays. You can get them for $100 or less. So
Ryan, remember when Blowout was doing those they were just piling in like 2012, 2013, 2014 boxes. They were calling them like Blowout mega packs, whatever. Like they tried to do subscriptions to them. I mean, they couldn't get rid of it. And Joe, I don't think even the prices were lower right now. You could fully replicate, because even the stuff that was trash back then, like, I mean, they had too many sets. Marquee, I think 2012-13 Contenders basketball was garbage. Not a fan of Past and Present. But even within those sets, like Past and Present had a very nice, game use relic set. Marquee had a really cool, like, step of, like a 3 or 4 step, like, lineage to their base set, where they had, like, different designs. Like Swirlorama came from that, which is like the short printed version of the base set. So there was still stuff that you could enjoy back then. Momentum was a set that was hot garbage, and those were like sticker autos. Signatures was a set that was hot garbage, but they were on-card stickers. And so even the stuff that was poorly received back then, relative to what's out today, would still have like more collectability, as far as, hey, I can go get this set that's going to have all on-card rookie autos, or this set's going to have a chance at a jumbo patch, or at least is this, Knights of the Round Table die cut short print that's super hyped that I can go chase, that's like unique and new and isn't just an AI generated photo. So I think the prices kill it right now, but the lack of diversity within the products, I think, is also an issue.
Yeah, I think another issue too is nowadays you just have so many parallels. So not as many people collecting back then, but when you bought a box of cards, you could pull a gold pretty easily, compared to nowadays where it's so hard to pull at being out of 10. But you buy a couple boxes of 12-13 or 13-14 Prism, and you're pretty well guaranteed to pull something cool. And even the prisms back then, as they called them, silver is what they call them now. But those, I think in 12-13 only, what did they have, 250 each of just the silvers, So it was just like a different time. Obviously you can't have that anymore, and we got to have 100 parallels so people are happy when they buy a box and they get something, but it's just a lot different,
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Obviously there's way more parallels now, and I thought of that when Sean was saying in the chat, it's 2 green parallels, because what was 2012? It was just green, silver, and gold, right? Those were the only parallels.
Yeah, that was it.
So
they didn't have blacks until the next season, the 13-14s. That's when they introduced those.
Yeah, so it's interesting, because I'm sure many blaster boxes or whatever, you'd end up getting just base cards, or maybe you'd get one parallel that, like a green or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, because I think that, Steve, you have a point. They have, I feel, those chase cards now, but they're just so diluted, and they're all the same every year. So it just doesn't feel any different. I feel like since 2019, at least 2019, maybe 2018, man, it's just been the same things that everyone's after, right? It's the same design kaboom or downtown or whatever. They just dilute it into retail. So you put it into, you have to buy 100 blasters or 100 megas of Revolution to get it, but yeah, it's an interesting point.
Yeah.
To touch on Gary's point, the silvers were definitely in hobby. I opened some hobby in 2012. I want to say they were like 3 or 4 a box, but the greens were only in retail.
Retail, yep.
Oh, okay. Yep. You're right.
And that made retail
much.
fun to chase because you could only get so especially with the inserts, if you wanted like I don't know that I don't remember anybody chasing like the full set for greens, but I do remember people wanted to pick up like the Team USA, and they didn't want the silvers, but they couldn't afford the gold. So like the greens were rare enough, but also unique enough that it made retail products have some value as well. Like it was pretty well balanced.
And I think you even saw that through 1819 because they had status at least, right, in 1819, which was, I think, retail only. Wasn't status retail only in 1819? So you had similar stuff, and there were the Target and Walmart exclusive stuff. And in 2013 Prism, the red Target parallels and the blue Walmart parallels. So yeah, a lot of the luster of the creativity and the collation and distribution is just gone.
Oh, that's cool, Sean. Sean's saying that he remembers someone on Blow completed the full green set from 12-13. That's would have been a very unique chase to be working on, and a big that's a cool one to be chasing for sure. I'd like to see that together.
Yeah, nowadays I think to chase any of these older sets, especially if you're going after golds or something, you just have to have super deep pockets. But back then it was just patience.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're coming up on the hour. I do want to give one person a shout out, and I gave Adam a heads up that I might ask him to share a few cards here. So just because I got a DM in Instagram from someone, giving some props to our show and appreciating listening, probably maybe someone I think maybe isn't US based, probably can't listen live, but Tatum UK _collector on Instagram, reached out and said really enjoying the content, and then was looking for some feedback on Celtics Kevin Garnett playing day autographs. And interesting, I don't know if it was intentional, but Pierce, KG, I think even like Rondo, Ray Allen, during the entry of the Panini era, they didn't sign for Panini. Like I don't think KG signed until he went back to the Wolves, and I don't think Pierce signed until he retired almost. So it's a small niche cut of a few years of upper deck only cards that are there for this collector to look at. So Adam, I didn't know if you had any recommendations for this collector as far as game day, game playing day time on cards Celtics autos.
Yeah, when you sent that, I didn't even really think about it. It's been so long since that kind of era happened that it was hard to even remember that there was such a delay between the Upper Deck era and the Panini era. But I started kind of wrapping my brain, and I don't think he had a Panini auto until 2018-19. So I think that was post-career altogether by a few years, even after the Wolves years. Because I want to say it was like we talked about before, sometimes the sets come out the next year. I want to say it was like late 2019 or late 2018-19 sets that ran into 2019 where we saw his first Panini autos.
Could be.
So it was like from 09 in Upper Deck sets all the way to 2018-19 sets. There was no cards of Kevin Garnett, and obviously Celtics years would only be like 07 to 12, I want to say.
Yep. Traded 13.
Traded 13. So I pulled out a couple things. The biggest thing I would say is the first year he has cards 07, 08, most of them depict him in the suit rather than on the court. And if you're looking for playing era specifically, it's probably because you want a game photo. So it kind of narrows your field down to 08, 09 almost exclusively, because most of the 09, 10 is a lot more limited. But I did pull out a couple 08, 09 KG autos. See if I can peel the fronts of these off. UD Black has some.
There you go. That's number one on my want list if I was going after Garnett. I'm sure they're a pretty penny, but that's a cool one. So that's 08, 09?
08, 09, yeah.
Black?
Yeah. These are kind of sneaky, hard to find. I had the Pierce, the Allen, and the Rondo of that set for quite a bit of time, searching high and low to find one of those KGs. They were just kind of tough to find. But then I also have another from the same year of UD Black. That's the Inscription set, I think, technically. Of course, he doesn't inscribe it, unfortunately. And
and for the people just listening to this, it's a paint pen auto. It's a silver paint pen on the traditional upper deck black designs, but nice, thin, super clean auto on those. Those are, and that's part of what I was trying to think of when responding to Adam. Is some of these cards just have really large spots for a good, clean signature.
And I had to kind of take the liberty to share this card. I've shared it plenty of times, I'm sure, online. But also 809. I know Steve's very familiar with the the friendship between Bill Russell and QB. Makes the card special to me. I don't know that he has any other cards that show the two of them in Celtic uniform that have on-card autos without relics, because Upper Deck never had a Celtics jersey for Kevin Garnett. They're all Wolves patches and jersey pieces, so it kind of ruins them for me. But this is one of my favorites. I love this card.
I love the opportunity for a subtle flex here with a Russell KG dual exquisite auto. Like it is, I mean, stunning card. You don't get much better than that.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I love. And like I said, I don't know that he has anything else other than I think this same year of Exquisite, there was like a dual patch and a dual jersey auto, but they're clearly Wolves pieces, and it ruins it for me.
Yeah, I can't do that.
He didn't have a Exquisite patch auto, as in like where he was the only person on the card in Celtics uniform?
He did, but the patches were from Wolves jerseys. The first patch auto, I actually pulled this out too. The first patch auto that he ever had in a Celtics uniform with a Celtics patch came in Noir, and it was this one. So he had never had that combo until this is 2020.
That's nice though. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Appreciate that, Adam. Yeah, I gave, obviously I let my thoughts were the SP Vital Signs is one that you can get for a little less money that has a nice bold blue auto. It's a horizontal card, which isn't for everybody. And then obviously the Chronology is sort of the gold standard of, Celtics KG autos that a lot of people chase, but that's going to be tough to find. And there's so many set collectors for that one. But so I appreciate you sharing a few, because I had forgotten about those UD black sets specifically. Cool.
Yeah, that was a nice little quick rundown.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I think with that, it's probably a good place to stop. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Right on the hour mark. I like it.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. If you were either on screen, in the chat, hope to see all of you guys next week to keep hanging out and talking cards. As always, we'll have the link in the QR code up if you want to join in via the stream. Otherwise, have an awesome week. We will see you guys on Thursday.
Thanks, everyone. Be well.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.